I stood outside my own house holding a bouquet of roses, feeling like a stranger on my wife's birthday. The air was crisp, the kind of October evening that makes your breath catch, and I was locked out, not just from the house but from her life. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let me take you back to how this all started, because I need you to feel what I felt, to understand how a single day can unravel everything you thought you knew. My name's Ethan, and I've been married to Lila for 7 years. We met in college, back when we were just kids sneaking cheap wine into dorm rooms and dreaming about the future. Lila had this laugh, bright, unguarded, like she could make the world feel lighter just by being in it. We built a life together, a good one, or so I thought. We had a small house in the suburbs, a dog named Cooper who chewed my shoes, and a routine that felt safe: coffee in the morning, her teasing me about my terrible pancake flips, quiet evenings with takeout and old movies. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Her birthday was always a big deal. Lila loved surprises, so every year I'd plan something special. Dinner at her favorite Italian place, a weekend getaway, or once a scrapbook of every photo we'd taken since we met. This year, her 32nd, I'd spent weeks planning. I'd booked a private chef, bought her favorite roses, and even got a necklace with a tiny sapphire, her birthstone. I wanted her to feel loved because lately she'd been distant. Not cold exactly, but like she was somewhere else even when we were in the same room. Her phone was always buzzing, and she'd smile at it in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. I'd ask, "Everything okay?" And she'd nod, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. The morning of her birthday, I woke up early, expecting to start the day with our usual coffee ritual. But Lila was already up, sitting at the kitchen table, her face tight. "Ethan," she said, her voice flat, "I need you to give me some space today." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking, but her expression didn't budge. "I'm serious," she said. I want to spend my birthday with my friends. Alone." Her words hit like a punch I didn't see coming. I stood there, coffee pot in hand, feeling the ground shift. "Okay." I managed, my voice smaller than I wanted it to be. "If that's what you want." I spent the day wandering, trying to shake the unease. I drove to the park where we used to walk Cooper, sat on a bench and watched families laugh and kids chase each other. My phone stayed silent, no text from Lila, no updates. Around noon I got a message, but it wasn't from her. It was from Sarah, her best friend since high school. "Hey Ethan, can we talk? Meet me at the cafe on Elm Street." My stomach twisted. Sarah and I weren't close. She was Lila's confidant, not mine, but her tone felt urgent. At the cafe, Sarah was already there, stirring a latte, her face pale. She didn't waste time. "Ethan, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't know how to tell you, but I can't keep this anymore." I froze, my heart pounding. Lila's been seeing someone else. The words landed like a hammer. I stared at her, waiting for a punchline that never came. She kept talking, her words tumbling out. How Lila had been sneaking around for months, how it started as late-night texts, how Sarah had caught them together at a bar last week. "She's with him today," Sarah said, tears in her eyes. "That's why she didn't want you there." I don't remember much of what I said after that. My mind was screaming, replaying every moment I'd missed. The late nights Lila said she was working. The way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her. Sarah reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked, my voice shaking. She looked down, her fingers twisting the napkin. "Because I care about you, Ethan. And because I'm leaving. I can't stay around her anymore, not after this. I'm moving to Chicago next week. I thought, maybe you'd want to come with me. Start over." I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "Leave? With Sarah?" The idea was absurd, but her eyes were so earnest, so full of pity, it made me feel smaller than I already did. I stood up, mumbling something about needing air, and walked out. My car felt like a cage, so I drove back to the house, the roses still on the passenger seat, wilting. When I got there, the lights were on, music spilling out. I didn't go inside. I stood on the porch, staring through the window. Lila was there, laughing, her arms around a man I didn't recognize. He was tall, with a confidence I'd never had, and she looked at him the way she used to look at me. I don't know how long I stood there, but eventually the door opened and Lila froze when she saw me. "Ethan," she whispered, her face paling. The man behind her stepped forward, but I didn't give him a chance to speak. Happy birthday, I said, dropping the roses at her feet. My voice was steady, but inside I was breaking. I turned and walked away, her voice calling after me, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. Every step felt like tearing myself apart, but I kept going. That night I checked into a motel, the kind with flickering neon signs and thin walls. I sat on the bed staring at my phone, Sarah's message still open. I didn't reply. I couldn't imagine starting over, not with her, not with anyone. The life I'd built with Lila was gone, and I didn't know who I was without it. I thought about the necklace in my pocket, the one I'd never give her now, and I let myself cry. For the first time in years I let it all out. Days turned into weeks. I moved into a small apartment, started seeing a therapist, tried to piece myself together. Lila called a few times, left voicemails about how sorry she was, how she didn't mean for it to happen. I deleted them without listening to the end. Sarah texted once more, wishing me well in Chicago, but I didn't respond. I wasn't ready to run away. I needed to face the wreckage, to understand why I hadn't seen it coming. Looking back, I don't hate Lila. I hate the silence that grew between us, the way we stopped fighting for each other. Maybe that's what betrayal really is. Not just a secret lover, but the quiet moments when you let love slip away. I'm still here, still breathing, still finding my way. And every night when I close my eyes, I see those roses on the porch, scattered like the pieces of my heart. If you've listened all the way till now, thank you. It means more than you know to share this with you. Your time, your heart, it keeps these stories alive.